All right, we'll start with player availability. We have Joe Milton, Jacob Warren, and McAllen Castles. Raise your hand for questions, and I'll call on you guys. Patrick, we'll start with you, and then we'll go to Austin.
Joe, I think it was a career high passing yards for you, 6 touchdowns. That's pretty good senior day. Is that how you would have wanted to go out here at the stadium?
Yeah, absolutely. You go out with a bang. Every game you try to do that, but the most important one is this last one inside the stadium. You show a team that's how we play when we get inside the stadium. So that's the legacy that I held, that I'm gonna hold on to. And, leave it on to my guy Nico.
Austin.
Jacob, you and I spoke earlier this week. You talked about just not being an overly emotional guy, but you could see the kind of the emotions coming out there at the end. When did it kind of hit you? What and kind of your overall thoughts last game and getting the end zone again?
Yeah, I think I did a pretty good job kind of holding it together. I think pregame saw my mom and she was emotional. She was crying a little bit, so that kind of got me. But held it in for the most part. And then we got done with the alma mater and start walking back towards the field or towards the locker room and just see all the people that just mean a lot to me. Walking by him and walking by Joe and just walking by a lot of people that have had a really big part in my development, but also just my enjoyment of this whole process and this whole last year. So that's kind of definitely what got me. But, it's good to be emotional. I think, you let it out a little bit. It just shows that you care and that, this really meant something to me and a lot of people around me. So, it was great.
Dan and then Karthik.
Joe, what were the emotions of your senior day throughout the day, and what do you feel like you'll leave Neyland Stadium most remembering?
I kind of got mine out Friday, my throwing session here at the stadium before we play on Saturday. So just walking down by the tunnel by myself on Friday, I kind of started crying, but my coaches were in front of me, so I got to show that I'm tough, man, So, just playing inside the stadium for one last time, it was amazing. I wish the guys that come up after us, I wish they take it serious with us. We left a legacy here that there's only one way we play when we get inside that stadium, and that's hard. There's only two things you can control. That's your effort and your attitude. So once you get inside that stadium and you put those jerseys on, that's what I hope you have.
Karthik.
Jacob, you've been here the longest out of the three on the stage, so I'll ask you, what kind of legacy do you feel like these seniors left here at the University?
I think, this class kind of represents what it means to just have pride, right? I think that there was a lot of opportunities for people to jump ship, and people to leave, and people to, chase other things, and that's great for those that did. But the ones that stuck around, especially the ones that are in their sixth year, this is, not to talk about the past, but this program has come a long way, and just the way we play the game has changed a lot since I've been here. And so that's something that I'm very proud of, to say that I had my hand in, and regardless of how many plays I made or how big of an impact I had, off the field, I think that, made a lot of change and really grew a lot.
We'll go David, Mike, and then Eric.
Jacob, you've been here 6 years. This is the first year you've had a 1,000-yard rusher. What does it mean as a?
Not me.
I was about to say, boy, golly.
You don't throw me the ball enough for that, big dog.
As a part of that, as a component to that, how much does it mean to the entire offense to have a 1,000-yard rusher?
Yeah, it's huge, man. And Jay Wright is, one of the most talented guys I've been around. It's just his work ethic and the way that he's changed his body and just how he looks. He's a freak, man, and he's done a really good job. Offensive line's done a really good job. I think that, just being real, something that doesn't necessarily get pointed out enough is kind of the work that McAllen and myself do. Whether it's just inserting or just cutting off a backside or just making things right when things kind of fall apart, that leads to a lot of those gains. And again, not saying that, it's all me or whatever, but, I'm proud of myself and of him and of our backs as well for just, going out there and just competing every single week. And regardless of what's going on, regardless of injuries on the line or whatever it was, he went and competed, and we know he'd give his all for us. So.
Mike.
Joe, you referenced going out with a bang. Is that an important thing to you to kind of leave that mark and that stamp in your last game here?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like every other game that we had here, we could have played harder. But this one especially, you want to end the season correctly. And especially with the home state rivalry, you got to be able to just go. And you got to be able to give your all for Tennessee. And that's what we did tonight.
Eric.
Kind of walk me through your touchdown reception and the throw from Joe.
It's a play we've had in for a couple weeks, and we've kind of been keeping it on the back end, kind of holding on to it. just sell the out and then get up. And the whole time we practiced, just said, it's going to be up and down. Like, that guy's going to be right on you. I'm going to throw it right on his head. And so he put a perfect ball, just had to make the catch, and the rest is history, touchdown, you know.
So Ryan and then Austin.
For Joe, but feel free to weigh in. You're the tight ends. Is there something about this matchup that made the tight ends, more of a factor in the passing game today?
Should I tell him?
Yeah, concerning effort to get those guys the ball.
Nah, I ain't gonna do it like that. Nah, it was just cover 0, 4-3. Number 2 was I knew from the point from the snap, from post snap and pre snap, I knew who had the tight end all week, and we had that same look. They did exactly what we thought they was gonna do, and when they gave me the go ahead to play that play, I was like, man, like there's only one spot I could put this ball. And then I looked at the tight end spot, and I seen who it was. I was like, oh, man, 2 got a hell of a night, man. He finna, man. So I just did my job, just do your job at a high level. That's all we pretty much asked for. And I did that. He did that. And the O-line played great tonight, man. I just got to give a props to them.
Well, Casey, Paige, and then Wes.
McAllen, spending your last year here of eligibility, what has it meant to you, and what are you taking with you from this year?
I mean, yeah, obviously I wasn't here for the whole time, but I came here for the football, but I always remember it for the people. This has been the best college football experience I've ever been a part of. I mean, this is my best friend right here. Spend every day with him, just grinding. But, I've never felt like I belong more in a college football space than I have here, and I've made multiple stops. So I think that just speaks to the culture that these guys have built here with Heupel, and just it's a great place. Like, just Tennessee is where you want to be to play football.
Well spoken.
Paige.
Joe, you were responsible for 6 touchdowns tonight, the first quarterback since I think 2009 to do that. What made you so effective on the field tonight?
These guys. Pretty much the whole offense, Joe can't be Joe without the other 10 guys, so whatever they do and how they do it, the preparation throughout the week, the film study, the asking me questions throughout practice, just asking me how this ball is going to be up, how this ball is going to be, just all the small details, that's pretty much what we asked for. And, like I said, those 6 touchdowns wouldn't happen if the other 10 guys wasn't doing their job at a high level. So
Wes, Austin, Ben, and we'll finish with Ryan.
Joe, with the offensive line this season, those guys have kind of been shuffling in and out. They've been really banged up. What can you say about those guys and just like who was available today, who could play? I mean, was it one of those deals where it's just like just had to find a way?
Champions always find a way. That's how I view life, man. Champions find a way. So, we didn't know what the week was going to hold. We didn't know who was going to play. Sunday night, we didn't know who was going to be the starter for this Saturday. So, I mean, as an offense, you just got to go out there. Everybody should know the offense. I feel like if you play the whole season, everybody on the offense, no matter who you are, you should know the offense. So when your opportunities show up, you got to be able to show out. I feel like those 5 that was out there with me tonight, they played their heart out. They did all they can, what they was asked of, and then the guys around me, the running backs, the tight ends, the receivers, everybody else just did their job at a high level, man. That's all we pretty much asked for. That's what they did.
Jacob, there's several guys that went through the team tonight for the final time that could come back, kind of like you did last year.
Yeah.
What advice would you give those guys that are thinking about, maybe, doing another tour?
Yeah, I think last year, same time senior night was the moment that I realized that I wasn't done right, that I wanted to come back. I think it was big for me because the emotions I felt tonight were a lot different than the emotions I felt last year. Just understanding that I could have came back and did coming back, but I would just encourage them to listen to themselves. If they have a feeling or they have like I said, emotions about it, listen to yourself, listen to your heart, and big thing for me, man, I prayed through it. It was really hard for me to come to terms with what I felt like I was thinking I needed to do. And I prayed my way through it and truthfully found so much peace and so much comfort in the decision. So I hope and pray that those guys will be able to do the same.
And we'll finish with Ryan for this group.
Joe, how nice was it to get Ramel 2 touchdowns tonight and just in the regular season on a high note after it's been kind of a roller coaster for him, I guess, this year?
I wouldn't say you had a roller coaster. Just mistakes happen. It's life, man. Life is hard as it is. You never know what a guy's going through day in, day out. So I wouldn't say a roller coaster for him. Ramel's going to be Ramel at the end of the day. and you see him tomorrow, he might not be smiling. So like he didn't score tonight. So Ramel's gonna be Ramel, man. You know, like I said, I wouldn't give it a roller coaster, but the opportunities that we had tonight as an offense, it showed that what could have really happened this year. But at the same time, we don't go back and say, oh, shoulda, coulda, woulda, because if that was the case, then we would have did it already. So just building off of that, man, just keep going. We got one more as a team, as a unit. Just go put it together and make it happen.
Ryan, last question.
Joe, you mentioned kind of being emotional leading up to today. What makes you feel that way, I guess, about Tennessee? And how would you look back on this experience overall? Let's say you kind of had to wait your turn a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know, man. My journey been shaky, man. 3 years at Michigan. First 2 years playing only 8 games, and then my junior year, COVID happened, 2020. You get to start and you get to play 3 games, and your second game of the season, you get hurt to an injury. So you just look back at those things, and to be honest, I just never gave myself the fruits of the labor. This is the longest season I've ever been in, and also just, you know, making it through. Also just being able to go game from game and flushing the last one. You know, that's pretty much all you ask for. But I didn't do it alone. I had a whole bunch of guys behind me, and you know, they was telling me all the right things. They kept me up. They made sure that I was smiling, because everybody knew if I wasn't smiling, nobody else would smile. So they made sure I was smiling. Like these 2 guys, day in, day out, like they always said they had my back. So just to come out here and give those 2 guys a touchdown, man, I feel great. I feel awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, I gotta say something too. Not to get all like dramatic, emotional, whatever, but like thank you guys for everything you do. Not many people thank y'all for your time. So I thank you for your time. I thank you for giving me the opportunity to kind of put my face out there and just kind of express who I am as a person. So yeah, a lot of y'all been with me for a long time, so I really appreciate everybody.
Well, if you're gonna do that, then I might as well.
Go ahead.
But nah, serious note. Thank y'all. You know, nobody really knows how much work y'all put in, how long y'all stay up at night, man. It's truly honored to be in front of you guys and, you know, get to ask questions from you guys, man. You know, it's been a blessing. It's been a great 3 years. We got one more to do, so let's go have fun.
So
Thank y'all.
ditto.
Thanks, guys.